Hi, I'm Anu Bajaj, Director of Gallery Art Positive. We're all logging in from New Delhi, and we hope you all are staying sane, staying safe at home, and not taking too many chances and stepping out. And here at Art Positive, we're trying to engage in a different way. From we're also used to meeting you all in exhibitions and shows, but now we're trying to engage with you in a different way. And we are now in part 3 of our series of art and environment, where we are engaging with artists in conversation with artists whose work talk about environment and commenting on it, and and working towards preserving it. So now, of course, environment has come into prominence right now with all the excesses that are going on. But it's always artists like Pratul have always been working on this theme. It's interesting to see how they have been talking about the results or the harmful results of globalization and urbanization. And his work to me sort of are so beautiful and haunting in a in a way where they talk about the what man is leaving behind in his quest to get ahead. So today we are talking to Pratul Dash. He is a Delhi-based artist. He's right now in Orissa. He had gone for a few days, and then he's been there for a few months. And in conversation with him is Pranamita Bargohen. She's our curator. So I would like now to hand over to Pranamita to start this dialogue with Pratul, and to try and understand a little bit about his thought process and his art. Pranamita, over to you.
Thank you, Anu. And I'd like to welcome all my viewers today, all our viewers in Zoom as well as Facebook who has joined us for the Art Plus Practice 3. And we are very happy to do this process, like do this program, because after the end of each series, we feel we get so much of positivity and energy in this time of pandemic when we are living isolated, and also it gives quite a lot of energy and to get connected to all the people and see each other. So in Art Plus Practice, as Anu has mentioned, we all are still looking at the practice of artists whose works are inspired by environment, environmental concern, ecology or nature at large. And we already had session with artist Arun Kumar H.G., Jagannath Panda, and today we have Pratul Dash with us, who is also a very well-known contemporary artist of India. And I know most of you are familiar with his practice or must have seen his works at times, but still for our understanding, I'm just reading a brief of his bio. Pratul Dash, born in 1974, Burla, Orissa. He is a multi-dimensional artist working across diverse media, including painting, video art, performance art, photographic art, earth art, and installation. He received his bachelor's degree from BK College of Art and Craft, Bhubaneswar in 1995, and his master's degree in painting from College of Art, New Delhi in 1998. He had many solo shows, important solo shows, like in 2018 in the Twilight Zone, Anant Art Gallery, New Delhi. In 2010, Metropolitan Metrics, Tamarind Art Gallery, New York. 2010, Human Spaces, Sarah Khan Contemporary Art, Switzerland. In 2007, Proxy Horizon Palette Art Gallery, New Delhi. 2008, another Neo Historia Palette Art Gallery, New Delhi. And in 2004, there was a residency open house in Italy. So he is also recipient of the prestigious Inlex Award, and he went for a residency for that to Italy. He has participated in numerous art camps and residencies and is widely acknowledged for raising various environmental issues about the damages inflicted on the ecological balance, earth, and society at large. Now just coming to Pratul and his practice before seeing. It will be wonderful to hear from the artist directly about his inspiration, his motivation, and his journey towards art. And I know there are various common things about all the artists and art practice, but each artist way of working is very unique, and it will be very interesting to hear from the artist directly. Coming to Pratul, can you just start with your journey towards art? Uh,
Thank you, Anu. Thank you, Pranamita, for inviting me. And I'm happy to be part of this conversation. Looking forward. I'm good. Um, well, Pranamita, thank you. Yeah, I've started as you said that as you mentioned in your introduction that I have joined my
just a minute,
graduation.
Pratul, visible to all. Yeah. Okay, fine now.
Okay, as you mentioned that in the biodata introduction section that I've joined my bachelor's in 1991, completed in 95. That time it was five years course, and I've done my master's in graduation from Bhubaneswar and master's in College of Art, New Delhi. And it would be interesting to say a little bit where I am at the moment. I'm here in my native this place called Burla, Burla. It's a western part of Orissa, and this town came to existence in 1957 after the post-industrialization. Then the Nehru had a dream to build lot of. He was given a lot of emphasis on irrigation and all that. So, and this close to my house, only 2.5 kilometers. If I go further towards the east, then towards the south rather. So there's a dam called Hirakund Dam. Hirakund Dam. It's the world largest clay dam. So uh, while the city came to the existence, there is more than 20,000 village submerged to during the process of build of this Hirakud Dam. So, but it is a very, as I said, it's a western part of Orissa. It's a very culturally very once upon a time it was very culturally very rich, and it's a very cosmopolitan by nature because of the dam. So uh, anyway, so then after completing my graduation, then I moved to Bhubaneswar for my graduation and BK College of Art and Crafts. This college came after the very famous artist called Vibhuti Kanungo, and I've studied there 5 years. I've completed my master's in graduation in paintings. Then after result was not on time, so I was doing some printmaking. I was doing printmaking in Bhubaneswar Regional Center. I've done some lithography and all that for 1 year. For 1 year, then I moved to College of Art, and so College of Art was a kind of cultural shock. You know, like as Bhubaneswar was state capital and Delhi is a country capital, so there is uh, lot of it is completely different from Bhubaneswar, the culturally and the language wise and all that. So I think probably that's happened with most of the people who migrated from Bhubaneswar, a small town, to the bigger town. That cultural uh, shocking was kind of quite natural. And but you know, like and
How was
when in
there in BK College, like coming to Delhi? Was there much information to get admissions at that time because internet was not there at that time? How was that your time like?
With I can say that during 1991 we used to had a wonderful teacher called Dr. Dinnath Wati, who is himself is a kind of scholar. I mean, is artist as well as a scholar, well-known scholar, and though internet and all those things was not that, but he had a kind of very good, he was well connected throughout, in India at least. And though Bhubaneswar was the state capital and temple city of temple, so many people, many artists used to came to the Bhubaneswar for the traveling and the tourism purpose. So whenever Dr. Dinnath Pati came to know about any artist visiting the town, so he used to call those artists, like out of lot of generosity. Without any hesitancy, just go and call those artists. Those artists used to come to our college, and at least we could meet them in that particular moment. So that was the only source of information we used to get. And the Bhubaneswar Art College, the library was not very good. It's a very small library, and it was not meant for the students basically. Though so gathering information, getting information from out of the state was very difficult. But and I mean, I have no hesitation to say that I am the first Odia artist studying in College of Art in painting. Before me there was another artist, but she used to study. She was from Banaras basically, but native from Orissa, but she had done her graduation from BHU and then masters from College of Art. So anyway, I was like first person to enter in College of Art that way.
Right. So, can you talk about the shift from Orissa to Delhi and how it influenced your practice in your artworks? You have talked about the cultural shock and, and the kind of.
Yeah, that's see. Uh, Delhi has a kind of very strange. Uh, this language is very hard. It's not a bit Haryanvi and all that mixing of that, no. So that bit harsh to me when we first moved to Delhi. That was a kind of first one get down from the train. So the kind of the language, listening the sort of Jat sort of lingo rather, like so that was quite harsh to deal with first of all. But when I moved to the College of Art was kind of very welcoming to me. I mean, at least to me. I mean, we used to have a librarian, and library was a kind of pilgrimage to Delhi College of Library was a pilgrimage to me. Like all those few teachers, so. It is like a pilgrimage because before that, hardly we have been seen any book. Library, Bhubaneswar Library was as compared to Delhi College of Art. It's nothing. I mean, I can say that it's nothing basically. So so when I moved, as I said that library was a pilgrimage to me, the Delhi College of Art libraries. So I used to spend most of my time in College of Art, library. And secondly, I used to have a very good theory teacher called Rubina Karore and Rajiv Lochan, obviously, and Jay Jarotia and Dhiren Sen Gupta. These are the people whom they used to interact me, and they were quite welcoming all most of the time. They were quite generous to the student, towards the student inquire. So that was a point. And but when I said, as you were asking about the cultural shocking, the images you can, because as I said, moving from Bhubaneswar to Delhi, because Bhubaneswar there is a lot of flora, fauna, and there is a lot of temples, there is a lot of cultural baggages. And when you move to Delhi, if you come across many different sort of exhibitions, the origin was quite wide. So yeah, that was a shock.
Right. I just want to come to your work.
So, like it's interesting here. I would like to share a small bit of transition between after completing my master 98 to 2000. That was the most tough time of my life, once I get out from the quite reputed college, like College of Art, and you feel like you're lucky one to study at that college. And, you have a kind of lot of baggage. So that was a kind of tricky situation I faced during that year 98 to 2000. And this work, which It's around 2002, 2003.
So I'll just move on to your next other works.
So these
Uh,
are uh,
so I'm
these are
just going on with the display and some of the works that you'd like to speak. Like this is one of like strong, very political.
yeah, like see, can we go back, Pranamita? Can you go back to the
You
images?
want to go up?
Yeah, go back, go back. Yeah, this is the work, see, around the beginning of the new millennium, around 2000, uh, that was a period I came across a very important exhibition that was happened in Ravindra Bhavan. That's curated by the Italian curator, and Peter Nagy was kind of coordinated that exhibition. That exhibition took place in five major cities in the world. And there's many important artists were part of that. So like Robert Rosenberg, uh, Andy Warhol. Uh, there, it's a large format exhibition that's happened in New Millennia, just beginning of 2000. Okay, and I was assisting Peter to execute that exhibition. So that was a kind of experience I got directly to deal with all those art. I mean, works, not obviously with the artists, but yeah. When I came across artworks, and first time I talked with the two international curators. So that was a kind of turning point, and around 2000 also, this politically, I was quite motivated. Like these are the some of the works where you can see. Uh, Next one, this is. Can you go to next one?
Yeah, just a
Just
moment.
we can go to the Supreme Court works, that
Okay,
restoration is
just a moment. Oh, sorry.
this is also very interesting. I would like to say a little bit about this works. No, no, no. Go back. Go back. Go
This
back.
one, this one you want?
No, 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 no. Supreme Court one. Supreme Court. The
This
structure.
is
Yeah,
the
this one. Yes, yes, yes. Restoration of Supreme Court. Uh, this. Yes. Can you hold on here? So this works, like though I was taught, as I said, that I passed out from college apart. So that particular time, the restoration, there was some sort of renovation was going on the Supreme Court. As you know, the Supreme Court and the college are just opposite each other. So like whenever we go out, and I used to see this structure, the colonial structure of Supreme Court of India, and some sort of this scaffolding was part of that stuff. That time because restoration and renovation was going on, the scaffold was part of it. Okay, so like and this another it's a diptych work, and there's a Arnold Schwarzenegger is standing on a colonial chair stool. Basically, the yellow background is almost like this very very much Indian yellow, and the olive green the back is, so it's looking like a flag. So this painting, like this, the apple which is coming out from the Supreme Court is like a judgment. It looks like, as you know, that the apple is the fruits of king, and normally there's a kind of uh, phrase is related to this apple. If you have an apple every day, then you won't go to the doctor. Apple is like a judgment. Here is coming out. It looks very fresh and beautiful, but in another way it is rotten, like this. It's never get the kind of dew.
So from here, the scaffolding thing have
Yeah,
started coming to your practice.
yeah, this is the first time I've used scaffold. This work particular, I mean, this work I've made around 2001. It is a large work. Now it's a part of NGMA collections, basically. This work.
Okay. So till right now, whatever works we have seen, there we can see the political concern, of course, in your practice. So
Yes.
the environment thing, which is there so much evident in your work, were not much there in the beginning. So when do you think that have come into your practice? And
Pramita, it is a quite natural with my practice that I was always concerned towards the nature and the nature, ecology. Uh, it is it was not the I don't it's but if you look at the growth of Indian economy around 2005, after this um, Manmohan Singh, the second UPA government, first president of UPA government, this economic this thing was happened. Liberalization was happened in India. So that time there is simultaneously where economy is growing or booming, the infrastructure also goes on in this parallelly. But like I'm not against the growth of any society or anything, but I'm against the unplanned growth of a society. And according to me, we unfortunately, most of the growth story of India is unplanned. I mean, it was imbalanced basically. But they really don't care about ecology. In, I mean, I can name the many structure which is developed during. I mean, which has come to the existence between 2000 to 2020, and because of those unplanned structural structures, many bad things happen to the nature. I mean, Ganga is one of the, Jamuna is one of the, and most of the river in the country, in fact, and most of the forest that I mean, Assam is facing that problem. I mean, every day we are evident. Like every day, if you look at any newspaper, recently, recent past, in the last month only, the Kerala issue the elephant things. That was a big news throughout, and every now and then in Orissa also, you can see the elephants are died by the electrifications of the locals or something. So these are the consequences of unplanned growth.
So this can be these concerns can be very much seen in your practice at that time. I think this is around 2005, 8, something like that, Pratul.
Yes,
These.
yes. See, this particular work which we were showing this left out is the 2006. Uh, so in 2006, this works interestingly. Uh, can you go back? This vertical growth.
So here a lot of disturbance and of course the urban construction. Both things are all together so much.
Yes, it is. See, but whenever I'm using a particular, see, this works is very interesting. That wherever I'm using animals, birds, or some sort of, like animals or birds or anything well, I try to juxtapose two different things. One is structural, with made of man-made, but it's mechanically iron. So there is lifeless. But another with simultaneous, there is a still the rest of the part, and if you look at this particular painting, most of the part is still life. But there is only one place where you can see is a corner on the edge of the structure. The cat is looking, gazing at a kind of this aquarium. It is not here the cat. The connotations of my connotation toward the cat and the kind of friendship, the coexistence of fish and the cat is balanced. And here it is, cat is not looking to eat the fish. You know, if you look at the fish are moving inside the water. So I'm trying to create a kind of coexistence. I'm believing on that. Like I really do believe the Gandhian philosophy in that way. I mean, without harming anybody, also we can survive with it. I mean, everybody has a kind of dignified way of living.
So after your in your journey in Delhi as an artist, so where do you think was the turning point or most influential part when you think you as an artist have changed your thought process or your practice? What was the time?
Yeah, moving to Delhi is
Not
itself is a
moving to
kind.
Delhi, but the exhibition in terms of
Yes,
or
yes, that's what I mean to say. When I moved to Delhi, like Bhubaneswar is a very less exposure in terms of exhibitions and looking at the works and meeting with the artists. But when I moved to Delhi, I first of all the galleries there was There's quite numbers of gallery and the museums, the National Gallery, obviously National Gallery of Modern Art, and when you are close to Mandi House, then you are exposed to film, the theater, film, as well as the art, visual art, literature. So you are exposed to all these things. So I do believe, like being an artist, to step up artist, being an artist, it is very important to, if you look at the different aspects of the life, basically aspects of the society. Like theater is a very important thing. And I mean, you can, in my works, theater play a very important role. Even filmmaking, the visuals of films has a kind of lot of impact in my books. So, as I said, that moving to Delhi itself and meeting with so many important artists of the country as one to one, this makes a lot of difference, as I said. So, like I can say many people have a kind of impact or inspired me in many different period of my time, my life. Maybe Bismillah Khan in some point of time, sometime, like this. The theater actor Pius, and like then the very B.C. Sanyal, Bhivam Sundaram, Geeta Kapoor. I mean, there is. I can name them. Like there's many artists. Paramjit Singh, Arpita Singh. There's many more artists who have inspired me or influenced me in my practice. And I mean, interestingly, all these artists are very welcoming. Whenever I try to visit them, they were like very warmly welcome. So I'm very thankful to all those people who has helped me in my past, and still, like, and those are the things which help me to step up my art practice. And that's why the point here. But around 2000, my art practice was changed very initially 96 onwards, 98, 95 till 2000. I was dealing with nostalgia, past memories, and all that. Like so. But by 2000 onwards, it's become more political, socio-politically, socio-economically motivated works, as you can see.
Right. And there you started exploring with other mediums also, like we can see this photographic work
Yeah.
and coming to your performance art. So at the same time, simultaneously, we have been exploring with different forms of art as well, right?
Yes, see, I really enjoy. See, as I said that I trained as you introduced me in my biodata. I wrote in my biodata that I trained as a painter. But like when I moved to like around 2000, the camera was quite easily because of the new medium. I mean, camera, the DVD players, and the videography camera, and all those things was it was everybody reach, basically. By not exactly everybody reach, but one can, if you have a kind of which you could afford it. So that was a point. Like, and secondly, that by uh, 2000s onward, I mean, being a painter, I felt like suffocated in certain point of time. Like I felt suffocated while I was, because I wanted to apply some colors or some sort of things. I wanted to apply, I just wanted to depict some sound of some incident, but it was never possible in two dimensions of the paintings. Like, I'm not saying the painting is bad or good. I'm saying that sometimes painting is not complete to me. Like, it's not a complete medium to explore. So then I look some other mediums. I think probably that's the quest that take me to explore other mediums. And I never sigh, or I never sigh that to adopt a new technology or new medium to explore my art practice. So uh, that was the things, like, and still I'm believing, if I need something to explore my art practice, I can go to any extent. If I need something, I definitely I'll go for it. I never hesitate to explore it.
So I think this is a small video of yours.
Pramita, I'll talk once this video is get over, or if you want, I can talk in between as well as.
Do you want me to stop here? You'd like to say something? Or
No,
should we?
it's just a small video, so let them see.
Okay.
Let it get
All
over. Then
right.
I'll,
All right. All right.
or we can skip it also.
No, you can speak on this right now, please.
In fact, as this is a video, like as I said, around 2000 onwards, I'm my uh, concern towards the society as look at in a different perspective. Start looking at it in a different perspective, socio-politically and very actively. Like so. This video is I performed it where I'm sitting now. This place is. Uh, just close to my hometown only. Like as and I perform with this secreted Brahmin family used to have that secreted in their shoulders. So I've used this secret thread as a kind of tool, and that you know. In around 2000, like as I said that I was quite open with the open to using any medium to explore or express my thought process. So like sometime that particular around 2000 or something 2002, I was trying to doing some sculptures and all that. So clay was almost like a flesh to me. While I dealing with the clay was like a flesh. Like so like I thought, like a body can be as a tool. Body or small minimum intervention into the body to become an. Uh, it's like body is a kind of medium to explore my thought process. So that was the idea in that works. And secondly, like around 2000, between that be the particular time, that particular moment, between 2000 to 2005, I was moving. I was my practice was in transition, like my thought process. Because I was quite disturbed in terms of the what's happening around and what's going on around, and like and when I tried, and that particular moment of time I was trying to do lot, in a quick succession, in a very fast pace, and there was a lot of dilemma I was going through. So like I planned this performance inside a house, but just hold on here also. So I was planned to perform that video inside a house, but I done that also in front of few friends, but I was never satisfied. Then I moved back, like I came to my hometown. I did this performance next to this dike. There's a right dike. This place called right dike, water reserve next to.
Hello. Hello, Pratul. Can you hear us? There may be some network issue. Let me check with Pratul what's the at some of his works, like this is one of his digital work, and at the same time, he also explored the work as a painting also at the same time. And I think he did a video work also out of the same work. Uh, we are really sorry for the interruption. I don't know what happened with Pratul since he is in Odisha, so there may be some network connectivity problem or something. I'll just confirm with him right now.
Will we wait for him to come? I think the connection on his end was a little dodgy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he entered. He's here right now.
He's here?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I can see.
So this was the stage when he was experimenting with different mediums and methods, like this is a digital work, and at the same time with the same work he was engaging as a painter. We can see this, and he said this is there is a video also which was part of some important exhibition also, and I think someone has collected that video also. uh, so after that he moved
Hello.
on. Hello Pratul, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Uh, though it was not my mistakes, but yes,
All right.
I, I'm apologies.
Right. So I was just, since you were not there, we are just looking at these works like we
Yeah,
can,
can you hold on here? I just wanted to say something interesting with this particular work.
and you
This,
said you
this
have a video also of this
exactly.
work.
Yes, I have a video too. Okay, yeah, this work came to the existence during the Commonwealth Games. Okay, I used to stay. There's a place called Potpotganj in Delhi, East Delhi.
Delhi, right?
Yeah. So I used to stay there. And so being an artist, I stayed there. I mean, being an artist, while while this government of India or state government they decided to build the Commonwealth village next to the Jamuna River, as many environmentalists, many scientists, many conscious people didn't like the idea to build up the Commonwealth Games village next to the Yamuna. So I was one of them. Till today, I was not happy. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So, as many people were not happy, I was also not happy. So, being an artist, how can I intervene into the space and what can I do here? So what I could have been done. So, what I thought too, I used to go there and keep keep clicking the documenting the photographs for 2 years. Every alternative day I used to go and keep clicking the very randomly. I keep clipping the photographs, and the idea was, like by 2 years, I have collected more than 3,000 photographs, and I thought of to exhibit all those photographs during and the opening day of Commonwealth Games Village in a parallelly somewhere else. But nobody was ready to exhibit those photographs, and nobody was provided me space. Rather, I mean to say, nobody was supported me, and I did not find a space to exhibit this photograph. So what I thought, like I created a kind of this is, I can say, digitally manipulated this photo. You can say there's a photo montage, or you can digitally manipulated image of all those photographs I have collected. Basically, this Almira, this you can see the shelf, a cupboard sort of thing. That property was belongs to a person whose name is Muhammad Islamuddin, who was a Bangladeshi migrant, and his job was to used to do ironing and all that. So this house, this cupboard was a house of himself. I used to stay here and used to cook in this the cupboard, and, and so that it's a complete house to him. So like while this structures were coming, this Commonwealth Games was, uh, like they start evacuating the space. This place being, there was forcefully the MCD people came. Like they used to uh, throwing out all those people who used to live in that.
So, so from and you said there is a video also of this same work, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that is exhibited in some important show. I think you mentioned, right?
Yes, yes. That so, and like in the so that's photographs. Then there's a painting I made. Then I made a video, because I made an animated video of all those images, and uh, so that part that particular works was the city near Commonwealth Games, with the title of that work, and the part of Gayatri Sinha's exhibition curated show. Then Gita Kapoor curated a very major show in Camol. Then that particular work shown at Switzerland Zurich Museum as well as. So yeah, that's a very quite it's a widely exhibited work.
So from then, coming to your recent works, like these are some of the works I think from 2015-16 period. So,
Hmm.
so from the depiction of the dreadful scaffolding and construction sites, coming to the portrayal of this natural environment in your recent body of work, do you see it as a positive approach to your articulation, or they still address the darker side of mankind? How do you see that? Because though there is in some of the paintings there is a lot of floral and kind of thing, but otherwise, the animals, the flora, fauna, they are very lonely and in a deserted area. And I see a kind of tension still. I want to hear from you. How do you?
See, Pranamita, by 2012, like I came off, I've evolved. See, earlier I used to quite in my works, the idea was very direct, very hard hitting. Like it was very straight. But by 2012, I evolved. I developed a kind of sensibility to. Uh, I said like there's aesthetic in each and every works. Like every sort of works we any sort of works we do, there's a aesthetics is involved in it. So politics has a kind of aesthetics as well. So I'm so I evolve a terminology of politics of aesthetics, or aesthetics of politics. So so I evolved with this particular one word, or one this thing. So in this here also, my concern was very much towards the ecological disbalance which is happening around in the society, very evidently, which is, you can see the disasters happening around. Like we may see it in
Since we have to
northern part of India,
also.
or eastern part of, or eastern part of the world, or anywhere, like throughout the world is a global warming, and all these things is a very important topic in a today's topic concern. So these are the works, like ecology is always a central point, a central focal point of my works.
Hmm.
So like I here also you can see this very powerful this animal standing, standing on the skull, human skull.
Yeah. Right.
So, and the kind of images, the imagery I'm trying to create is a dreamy. I'm using most of this dark shade is or blue shade. I try to use this all those. See, I wanted to use. I'm using these colors and all that to create to give a kind of ambient, to create a kind of ambience of hope or dream.
And can you talk about the small children? Are they imaginary figures, or they have something to do with your reality? Like this boy coming again and again in your some of your works.
See, I think two or three paintings it came for came to the in the artworks. This is a known figure. Okay, it's a known person to me, and I'm using as a model to this work. I'm using as a model, or and so it says a no. I mean, whatever images you can see in my works, those are quite close to myself or my heart.
Yeah, and we can see. I'm just moving little fast because we have to take care of the time also, and we want to show everything. So, just coming to your self depiction, these are not self portrait but self as a protagonist. There are many of your works where you are the protagonist. So, on that, and some of the images with some very disturbing and this kind of element with the Caesar opening your mouth. So, these are very strong imageries.
Yes, I can say. I mean, you can see them as a kind of performative images. See, I was
Yeah, it's very close to the performance that we have seen.
yes, yes. But it is this title of this was self-assessment. I think it was a kind of I see many most of the time I use whenever I'm using myself as a in a painting or artwork. It is a protagonist, a first person, it's a first-hand experience which I wanted to share with my audience or my viewers basically. It is not a borrowed or it is not a copied images. It is not taken from somewhere. It is myself who is experiencing all these things in day-to-day life. And it like I play as a role of a kind of bridge between society and the next one. Like I'm a play. I think I myself plays as a kind of bridge between two things. So like this particular sometimes I eat myself. Like it is a pain that I'm talking about.
So at this stage, there are some very large scale canvas I can see, and
Yeah.
everyone, many of you who have joined must have seen Pratul's work on as live. But I would say the images don't justify. The actual works are so detailed. So, Pratul, I must tell because I have seen these works on real and on large scale, on such large, huge size, very few people are able to justify the detail and the kind of intricacy it has. And so, do you want to speak on some of these works?
Yes, that yes, these are intricated. I mean, anyway. Let me tell you, I normally work for a longer period. I mean, I begin my day quite early, around 10:30, and I keep working till late in the evening. So that's my normal practice. So I have nothing to do beside that. Okay. Number one. Number two, like I just would like to share something that wherever you can see the images or you can presence of animals, birds, or some sort of thing, those are the circumstantial witness. There's a terminology used in legal practice. like legal practice, but in the legal practice, that circumstance of witness is very, very important. But here in this, in my work, this, this, this animals or birds, like they experience the trauma, but they cannot communicate. Okay, they cannot express to anyone, so they are just a kind of witness, the blind witness. They are the witness to the situation, what's happening around, what's going on in the nature, or in society. So as you can see here also, this shape standing on a mosaic global map. As you can make it out, if you enlarge, you can see where this ship is standing. The calf is also there, and you can see the back of on back side of the ship. It's like iron, which is a mechanical industrial product basically. So there's here also consumerism, also one of the thing which is involved with trying to show in this particular work. Mm. It's a quite large work, I think 15 by 7 feet. It's a triptych,
Okay.
and these are some of the. This is a very. I'd like to share something about this particular. The Last Supper. There's supposed to. There's an exhibition. There's a curated show is going to happen sometime. I don't know. The 20 or 22 Indian artists have made painting on Last Supper basically. So this is my Last Supper. My tribute to. This is my way of expressing making a Last Supper basically.
So I'm skipping certain things right now to keep room for a little discussion, and we missed 5 minutes, so we will definitely take extra 5 minutes or so.
Yes.
So from such big, huge canvases and strong imageries, moving to this miniature format, delicate and more abstraction and minimalistic, how that happened, and how is it like working on these changes? How?
So Nomita, I can say that I have a lot of patience, by the way, first of all. Okay. Like whether I'm dealing with at the last surface or at the small space. The one thing is very, very important in my kind, like the kind of works I'm doing is like patience is very, very important. You
Because
won't
these
believe that I'm,
canvases are how big? 10 feet, 12 feet, right?
yes, yes, it is large, but 10 by 5 feet works. This is also 10 by 8. This is
Feet, I
15 by
remember.
7. Yeah. So this is
And
10 by
a
5.
small postcard size work and completely miniature and little abstract also.
Yeah, yeah, yes. So, like, so as I said, the presence is one word which is quite, I would like to associate with myself. I'm not self-praising, but yes, there's a kind of uh, attitude I have towards my, I mean, whatever. In fact, you won't believe I'm doing a video for the last 3 years now, and still it is not finished. So you can imagine that how patient I am. So but when I'm talking about this abstract this sort of images, like I do two different parallel kind of practice which I'm doing for a long time. Normally I don't show these works, all this small paper work, like all this mini. Anyway, I'm quite inspired or inspired from the lots of miniature art practice. A miniature artist. Like I'm an influencer inspired from Nenso or and Odishan potter painters like Raghunath Sao. Like uh, some, there's many people who have inspired me or influenced me in my art, and that I'm using in my art practice nowadays. Again, you can see if you enlarge, you can see there's a lot of flora and fauna in this box also.
Yes, that is there, of course, in some of the works.
Yes.
They are mostly paper works and smaller in size.
Yes,
So now coming to we are stopping in the painting part and coming to your recent some outdoor installation which has happened very recently in last 1 to 2 years. So this
yes.
temple of birds from Orissa. So This is a very interesting work as I can see, and I have read about the same also. So we'd like to hear from you about this.
This sculptures is a this is installation site specific was placed in Bhubaneswar, and
It was
I
the
made this.
Foundation back program,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Bhubaneswar Art Trial.
yeah. I made this was in 2018, and here I've used more than 3,000 pots, probably, or 3,000, 4,000 pots. Interestingly, I would like to say a little bit about these pots as well as this utensil. This pots is normally used to prepare the prasadam or prasad. And there is, as you know, there's two. Bhubaneswar is known as the city of temple, a temple city. So there is two major temples. There's one is Lingaraj temple and one is Anantavasudev. So I have collected all these used utensils or pot, earthen pot or terracotta pot from uh, uh, no, not Lingaraj, not the Lingaraj. Sure. Anyway, one of the temple. As a, so this all this pot are the pots are unique by product. Like these are they prepare the prasad, then they just destroy it very immediately. So I have collected it for more than almost like uh, 10 days. Then I assemblies. And this cultures is intersection in between temples, and I made this for the birds basically. Bhubaneswar used to have lot of migratory birds because of the water body, and slowly this water body is vanishing because of human intervention. So birds just stop moving towards Bhubaneswar. So
So
like
there
I
is
thought,
no problem in permission issue or something like installing this in the temple area or something.
no, they found it very interesting rather, like because all those people who the people I made this sculpture very in the place called Old Town, Old City of Bhubaneswar, where Lingaraj temple is situated. Like so.
Hello. I think there is again some problem. So we are almost towards the end of the talk. So this is what Pratul has created in Bhubaneswar. These were pots which were prasad were prepared by the pots and then destroyed or thrown out, which he collected and created this site-specific installation, and still there. And it's been a house for the migration for the birds. So you can see the view. There are various views. So it was a part of the Bhubaneswar art trial that happened, that was organized by the Utsav Foundation. So right now, as Pratul has mentioned, there are already birds living in these pots, and some creepers and other plants has also started growing. So I think this was done in 2018. So we can say this work is beautiful in its appearance as well as its purpose also, which talks about the brings in the past and the present of the history and the contemporary time together in its portrayal in its execution. And the purpose is again of ecology, saving ecology and giving space to the birds. And so we are almost towards the end of the talk. So if Pratul joins, it's fine. Otherwise, I will just stop sharing the screen after one last installation image, and there can be some discussion if Pratul joins back. Someone can ask questions. So this is another site-specific installation from Daising in Assam, which was his, I think, last work before this whole pandemic, this whole situation came in. Um, I think this December, end of December, just before the New Year. So at that time also there was a lot of disturbance in Assam regarding NRC and the CAA issue. But Pratul went there and did this beautiful installation. This is also a site-specific installation, but it's not permanent, like unlike the birds temple for birds thing, which was in Bhubaneswar. So this is, I think, hello Pratul. You have to unmute.
Okay.
So I talked about, since we were running out of time, I talked about a little bit about the Temple of Bird, and then I came to this structure. I think this is your
Yes.
most recent work, and before this whole thing happened.
Yes, lockdown. Yes.
Yeah, lockdown and this whole
Pandemic.
situation, right?
This is very interesting, like this, while I was doing this work, it is very interesting. I invited for a residency by a friend of mine who is a practicing artist in Assam. I mean, I just would like to mention her name, Wahida Ahmed. She's invited me for this workshop. And I've used the local intelligence here, I've used the bamboo, three trucks of load of bamboos I've used in this particular work. And this piece of works intersect in between the three rivers. Okay, and it is like this is the fish is coming out, half of the works inside the water, and half of the works on the small.
Large. What is the size scale of this work, Pratul?
It is almost a 150 feet lengthwise, and height-wise is almost like 30 feet. And I had like eight or nine people who used to help me. They are the locals who know the material bamboo, because the bamboo is a part of their life.
So I have stopped sharing right now because we are almost. If anyone wants to ask any question, can ask. I think
Rajkumar asked some question probably.
Okay, let me check. Someone raised the hand in between. Rajkumar asks, Pratul, how can you interact with rich art and culture of your native state Orissa with your contemporary different works of art and thought process?
So can you repeat the question?
How can you interact with rich art and culture of your native state Orissa with your contemporary different works of art and thought process?
What does mean by rich and rich is? Are you talking about the local the skill, or in that sense? It probably, I don't know.
I think he talks. He's mean. Is he Rajkumar still there, or he left the meeting? If he's there, he can speak.
Hello.
Yeah, Rajkumar, hi.
Hi. Pratul. Actually, I've seen different contemporary artists of Orissa. They are using a local art tradition in their work. But your work is quite different. Actually, we are thinking about the whole India, that colonial, after colonial, post-colonial, that thematic theme and the ecological condition you're using. But how you think about your rich art and culture of Orissa? How do you interact?
Okay. Thank you, Rajkumar. See, I have a lot of rigors. As I said, that I am very strongly inspired, influenced by the miniature tradition of India. When I'm saying the miniature tradition of India, the pot painting is also because I in some point of time I've tried to learn that I've learned little bit of pot paintings as well as okay.
Yeah.
So and see whether I like it, whether I don't like it, I just cannot escape with my cultural history.
Yeah.
So like so that is like as you can see that the last sculptures, the last of previous sculptures, the temple for gods that I've executed and I made the
Yeah.
piece in Bhubaneswar. That's an intersection between the temples. So see, that is very strongly. You can see I could have been make some other sort of sculptures or something, but I took the reference of the temple architecture of Orissa and I made this artworks. Okay, number one. Number two is that your question is that like many Odia artists or many regional artists who is practicing was doing their art in they're taking direct references of traditional abortion culture. I mean, painting history or the sculptural history. They're including in their art practice. But like I'm bit. I do not want to be so because I think I have a kind of being an artist. I have a kind of larger perspective of things to be uh,
You have a critical
expressed.
approach.
Yes, if that see, if let's say if I use a pot painting directly in my works, like I don't want to be regional painters. I don't want regional artists or
Yeah.
something like. Okay,
Yeah.
definitely I have a kind of strong association to my history. I mean that my DNA, like, I just cannot change my DNA, so it is there. It is very much there. It would be there always, and maybe in a different form, but yes, it is. It would be.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
But I don't know, Rajkumar, whether I
Yeah. Yeah.
answer
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
question or not.
I got your point.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Rajkumar. So there is another question from I think it's Kavila. It's I think Jagannath. If he's there, can talk about this. He's saying nice to hear about. Can you talk about the site and invasion this bamboo work?
Uh, yes, this is in, it's very close, this place is called it's very close to Bongaigaon. Bongaigaon is a known place, so it would be easier for the people to know that where the site is exactly. This next to the Bongaigaon, there is three rivers. The one is called I River, and another is there's three river where the meeting point, and where there's a festival called I river. In Assam, they are celebrating a festival, the river festival. So during the river festival, they have asked few artists to come and execute some sort of do some artwork. Like to. So, interestingly, like the two for this, all the 5 lakhs or more than 10 lakhs people do visit in this festival, and they've seen this artwork. So, like this audience was very huge, massive rather. And it is always interesting to work in that kind of space, particularly whenever we're talking about site specific, a public art project. So this is a really public art project when the 5 lakh people seen, they touched it, they moved through it. So it was a great experience itself. And
Okay, thank you, Pratul. I think there is no more questions from anyone. If anyone want to ask, can let me know, or else we will just uh, finish the session here because the time is already up, and we missed in between 5 minutes, so we just continued for another 10-15 minutes extra. If anyone from the audience want to ask anything, can Minakshi Jha is just asking you work in different mediums, so which one is more close to your heart?
I mean, actually, like as I said that in my conversation that I don't shy away to if I like, if I trying to, if I try, have to explore some medium, I don't shy away. If there's a need of a time, so I just can explore any medium. So I just cannot say that particular medium is very close to me. Obviously, drawing is a very close medium of my practice.
Thank you. I think it's done almost. Thank you, Pratul, for joining today. And it's wonderful to hear from you and to see some of your works, which I have actually not seen before and seen through this, and to understand from you your perspective. So it was great. And thank you, everyone, for joining today. And we would like to continue the session with new artists each time. So thank you, Pratul, and it's wonderful that we have this bliss of technology to join you from such 1,000 kilometers away. So all of
Beside the internet issues, I mean, it's that's not in my hand anyway.
yeah,
But anyway, it's really, I'm grateful to you and Anu particularly to
yeah.
give me an opportunity with talking and showing my works, sitting in a distant place. Uh, but let's hope the after the post-corona thing would be much easier or better. At least we can see each other as person. And
So
thank you
thank
so
you,
much.
bye everyone, and let's hope to see you in the next session in the coming time. We will inform in our social media platform about the same. Bye.
Bye bye.